If I could go back and tell my younger self something about my body, it would be that it is not wrong and that it only belongs to her and no one else. There are so many things I wish I knew growing up. About my body. About what is normal. About what is beautiful. About what is true. This video is a letter to the younger me, and maybe to you too. Whether you are healing from the same messages or just now learning the truth. I hope something here makes you feel seen. And if you are comfortable, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What do you wish you had known growing up about your body? There are a lot of myths that people are taught. Some I learned as a child, while others I learned as I got older from society. Many are taught that all vulvas are supposed to look the same when the truth is that there is a huge variety in size, color, and shape, and none of them are wrong. This isn't one I personally learned, but it is one many girls are taught to believe. One myth I was taught was that if your labia sticks out, it means that you are dirty or contaminated. There is a huge myth that it only happens when a woman has been engaging in intimate acts, but this is false. The truth is that this is common and not indicative of any intimate activities. Another myth we are taught is that discharge is gross, but it is actually natural, healthy, and helps protect them from infection. This myth goes right along with common period myths that they should be kept secret and shouldn't be talked about, or even that having a period makes you dirty. Here is the truth. Periods are normal and they are nothing to be ashamed of. You deserve love and support, and you should be able to talk about what is happening with your body. This stigma around periods is harmful. Periods are not dirty and they don't make you unclean. They are completely normal. We are also taught a lot myths about our bodies, such as we have to look a certain way to be loved, that body hair is something to be ashamed of, and that stretch marks, cellulite, and belly rolls is a sign of poor health and unattractive. The truth is that your worth is not tied to how you look. You are worthy of love no matter how you look. Body hair is completely natural, and removing it should be a personal choice, not a requirement to be loved. Stretch marks, cellulite, and belly rolls are normal parts of human skin and a life that has been lived. I personally see my stretch marks as reminders of my children. Many of us are still being taught that our bodies exist for others. I know this is one that I was taught, but the truth is your body is yours. Not for pleasing others, performing, or meeting someone else's expectations. Everyone's relationship with their body is unique, and what someone else enjoys won't always translate to you. I was raised in a religious household, and some of the messages I got was that my body was gross and wrong, that I existed only for the pleasure of others, and that my body was never my own. I know now that is not true. I have spent years working through these beliefs, and at times I still struggle with them. I have felt a lot of shame around asking questions, as many of us do. It can feel embarrassing. However, curiosity is healthy, and asking questions is the only way we can find answers. Often we feel like everyone else has it figured out. Everyone but ourselves. It is important to remember that many people feel confused or ashamed. I often say as adults we are all pretending we have our shit together and that we know what we are doing, but no one actually does because no one taught us. They couldn't teach us because no one taught them, and they had no idea either. We are all walking around confused and acting like we know the answers. One reason for these misconceptions is that there is a lack of real sex education. We are kind of taught a little about our own anatomy, but nothing in detail about how it all works. Some of us are taught we will have periods while others, like myself, are not. I was just handed a bag of pads and was told you should wear these until you need them, then keep track because you will need them again. I was never told what I needed them for or what I was supposed to track, and was left to figure it out on my own. I know they never covered discharge or hormones or how to work with your cycle instead of against it. I was briefly told that my body would change, but I wasn't really sure how. Of course, I didn't develop like the other girls, but this didn't really bother me. I don't even remember feeling insecure about it or even really thinking about it until my foster mom, who I am sure was well-meaning, noticed my younger sister had and tried to reassure me that I was just growing up first and I would grow out later. All this secrecy made me feel like my body was even more wrong, dirty, and contaminated. That it was something I needed to hide or pretend wasn't happening, or something I had to apologize for. A lot of us are taught to be ashamed of our bodies when we are children. We are told to cover up or are judged for how we look. A lot of this shame is placed on girls, as they are often targeted for distracting the boys when they are often just trying to feel comfortable. I remember being told that girls were distracting to boys and we should be more mindful of that so we don't draw unwanted attention, but I always wondered why it was on me how the boys acted and why they weren't being taught self-control and accountability. I grew up believing my body was wrong and that my own anatomy was disgusting. This made me feel like I had to fix myself. And sometimes I think that is why I still struggle with the idea of being referenced as a woman. However, I know now that my body is not something to be fixed. It is perfect the way it is, and it is my home. Normal is a spectrum, not something that is set by these unrealistic societal standards. My body has always been worthy, even though I was taught otherwise. And so is yours. It is important that we show ourselves some compassion. After all, if we can't learn to love ourselves, how can we expect anyone else to? Some of the things that have really helped me get past these negative beliefs about my body have been therapy, the books Period Power by Maisie Hill and In the Flow by Elisa Vitti, and Vanessa Marin, a licensed sex therapist I follow on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram. The Labia Library is also a good resource if you want a visual representation of vulva diversity. So much of what we were taught wasn't actually truth. It was tradition, fear, silence, and shame that has been passed down. That isn't right nor fair, but the beautiful thing is that we get to unlearn it. We get to ask better questions. We get to rewrite the stories we were told about our bodies. We can break the cycle, and we don't have to continue passing this down. No matter how long you have carried this shame or confusion, you are not too old to break this pattern. You can start learning today. Healing can begin right now. Your body isn't broken. The system that failed to teach you is. Be curious. Be kind to yourself, and remember you are allowed to come to peace with your body at your own pace. So tell me, what is something that you wish you knew about your body growing up? Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this video brought up any thoughts, feelings, or memories, you are welcome to share them in the comments if you are comfortable doing so. This is a space for kind, honest conversation. So come as you are. And if something in this video helped you or made you feel less alone, I would be so grateful if you would share it with someone who might need it too. We weren't meant to figure all this out alone.